When it comes down to actually rebuilding themselves, they then say, no, I can't afford it, or no, I can't do it. And I get it. Money is something that you have to spend, but you got to invest into yourself at some point. If you're not going to invest into yourself, who's going to invest into you? It's never about money. And I think the reason why people think with the money factor is because they're thinking dollar per hour. They're thinking about, I make this much per hour, therefore I'm spending this much time to get this thing. It's not worth it. But what you have to start thinking, like, well, this is what I thought about, is that it doesn't matter about cost. I need to learn how to do certain things. And I'm either going to pay in money or I'm going to pay in time. It's those who don't have the time to make the money, you use your time to make money. Then once you have the time, once you have the money, they can start buying back your time. And once you have more time, then you use it to make more money. And that's what people are stuck in. What you have to understand is that time is way more important than money. So the money that you're spending to get more knowledge, to be able to get more time, that's where it is. So when I started and I said I'm going to be able to do this, I realized I can rebuild my life right from day one. And it was just straightforward that I'm willing to do the work, I can rebuild my life. I think that people think that it'll just happen. I don't have to do any work. And sit down with people, and no one wants to do work. If there was a weight loss drug that can remove all the weight off of you and as a pill that you can take, would you take it? That's Ozempic. That's your GLP-1s. I'm not trying to talk bad about GLP-1s. I have clients that are on GLP-1s, but that's what that is. And that, without training, that's what people just want. They don't want to do the training. They just want the quick fix. So when it comes down to rebuilding, you don't want to go through it again. The hardest part about people rebuilding is they have to go through it again. You never stop going through it. That's why I said rock bottom is your starting point, because you're going to consistently hit some sort of rock bottom. The beginning of a mountaintop is the bottom of another ridge, right? You keep climbing mountains and you don't stop. I made it to the TEDx stage. I made it to the TEDx stage, but that's the bottom of the next mountain. Because you think I want to stop at a TEDx stage? I am appreciative of the moment that I had, but that's not where I'm stopping. And so for me, it comes down to this factor of people misunderstand rock bottom because they think that it's just a one-time event in their life. But it's defined as a lot of different events. It could be the traumatic events that happen in your life, but it can be the top of one mountaintop is the bottom of the next. Sports is the best analogy for this because there's only one champion every year. And then the season starts again and everyone's back at the bottom. That's rock bottom, right? It's not just the traumatic experience that happens in your life that's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. I've lost everything. That happens, but what happens when you just have to reset? That's also rock bottom. It's a mentality. I don't think prison can teach anything to anybody. I think prison doesn't teach you anything. The only thing it teaches you is how to disappear. You disappear from time, right? Because time doesn't mean anything in there. You have tons of it. It's time. And times is this thing that ends up happening. Times I was incarcerated and I was thinking, I wish time could move faster. And one of the things that I found out is if I just focus on my routine and not focus on the time, it does move faster. So I just focused on my routines, and routines were very strict for me. Out in the morning, work, in the afternoon, work, in the evening, go to sleep, and talk on the phone to my wife every single day. I think what happens when men get into their 40s feel lost because of who they were. You are in your teenage years, you're still figuring it out. In your 20s, you're still figuring it out. By the time you get to 30s, just really starting to figure it out. But what I find is that in most guys' 40s, someone put it like this: you need 3 places in life. You need your workplace, you need your home, and then you need some sort of hobby. A lot of men are missing that third place, that hobby. And a lot of men are reverting that hobby to some sort of form of entertainment. So it's not a self-development hobby, it's an entertainment hobby. I'm going to go to play video games. I'm going to the bar. I'm going to spend all my time eating burgers at some burger shack, right? And it's like you're going to these places and you're like, this is my third place. but that third place isn't adding value to your life. You need to make sure that the third place that you're going to is adding value.